Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming along today. If it's your first video, then I hope you enjoy it. If you have watched any of my other videos, then again, thank you for coming back. We are getting a bit more used to this now, slowly getting into the routine of it, I think. But yeah, anyway, if you watched the previous video, you'll know what this one's on. I'm going to have a quick little overview of the second round of round 16 games in the Champions League tonight. So I did my predictions yesterday and they're a bit hit and miss. One I got bang on, which I was happy about, the Madrid derby. Arsenal was a mile off. Villa I was close, but ended up being a mile off. And the Dortmund game, pretty off. I thought Dortmund might sneak that one. But anyway, today we've obviously gonna have to start with Liverpool PSG, the big one for today, I think. And it's the one that I'm most looking forward to personally for today, 100%, because it just screams goals in this game. You know, I think we're gonna see both teams attacking. I've thought about it, and Liverpool, there's been a lot of talk about them having a lot more control this season, but they are still pragmatic in the sense that if a game's opening up against a top side, they still do like the basketball sort of games. They still like them. They still have that Jurgen Klopp instinct inside of them, I think. You've seen it against, was it Leverkusen when they played them in the Champions League? Ended up being a very basketball game there, and they obviously end up winning the game 4-0. But that game could have been 3-2, 2-all. Like Liverpool deserved to win that game in the end, but it very easily could have gone either way at times. Which sounds crazy when it's 4-0. But my point is that Liverpool, while they do exude control over games and they are showing up more now, they can still get roped into these basketball games. So I feel like with the emotion of the Champions League today, we might just see that happen. I'm going for a 2-2 draw in this game. I don't think they're going to get beat. I like PSG. I like how they're playing. I like how they've changed their approach to their transfers and their squad building. You know, they've gone for young talent. But I just don't know with PSG. They're such an unknown quantity because of what they do in their league. Obviously, they dumped Brest 10-0 in the last round. But I can't gauge what that means in the Champions League, you know. It doesn't quantify anything for me. The French league's so unknown in terms of how good is it actually, you know, because they'll go through runs of like 20 games not losing, of winning 20 games in a row and not losing, and then they come in the Champions League and they get done in the round of 16 sometimes. So they're very much an unknown quantity. No matter how much I watch them, I still don't know how good they are. And it just feels like the club's a bit cursed with the Champions League sometimes. So I'm going for a 2-all draw. Salah will have a say in there somewhere. I think there'll be some interesting matchups today. I think you're going to have Barcelona against Trent is going to be very interesting. Obviously Barcelona having a cracking breakout season for PSG. I know he had some games last season, but this is when he's been nailed on and he started basically every game. So it's going to be really interesting seeing him. I know they're playing Dembele as almost like a false 9, which if you told me a year ago they're playing Dembele as false 9, I think I'd tell you they've lost the plot. Like, I don't know what they're doing. But he's been on fire this season. And when I have watched him play, he's been very impressive. You know, he's finally looking like he's getting a bit of composure in his end product. He's always been a quality player until that final piece of like perfection that you need. You know, the finish, the pass, the cross, especially his finishing has been a bit wayward at times. He was always someone who I'd bet on and be like, never shots on target, always shots. Because he would have shots, but he would just never, he'd always lose his head, he'd always sky, he'd always drag it wide. But he looks like he's finally come of age, maybe. So I think it's going to be interesting seeing him if he does play false 9 up against Van Dijk and Konate, whether he'll just drop off them and they're going to come with him, but then obviously that leaves space in behind. Obviously, you've got Kvaratskhelia coming in as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. A lot of attacking talent on display. I think you're going to have Gakpo up against Hakimi as well. So whether that means Hakimi bombs on as much, whether Gakpo gets stuck tracking him. There's a lot of interesting matchups. It's a very tactically interesting game. So it depends on how Slot approaches it. But again, I feel like there's going to be that Champions League sort of feeling around it for Liverpool. And it will end up being a very entertaining and very end-to-end game. Next, we've got the what do they call it? The German derby. It's not Der Klassik, but it is not the new German derby that we all know now. Leverkusen Bayern Munich. Now, when I saw this fixture come out, I was like, "Oh, there might be some goals here." And then I remembered that both, whenever they've played each other recently, ever since Leverkusen demolished them last season 3-0, it's been a very cagey game and very like a chess match. You know, neither team really wants to lose, so neither team really risks that much. And I think for Bayern especially, they don't want to lose. I think Leverkusen can get over it if they lose to Bayern Munich, you know? But I think if Bayern Munich were to lose and go out in the round of 16 here, it would be seen as a massive failure in Kompany's first season, you know? So I just think that pressure might get to Bayern. I'm going for a 1-1 draw here. I don't think there'll be a lot of goals. I don't think it'll be a 0-0 game, but I do think it's going to be very cagey, you know? I think there might be moments of quality. Elise might come alive. You might have a Grimaldo set piece, or Vitz comes out of nowhere and comes up with a piece of magic. But I think it's going to be a very, like I said, a chess match. You know, I don't think Bayern are going to want to put too much forward. I think Kompany's going to be a bit more astute and try and not concede to Leverkusen, if that makes sense. You know, he's going to be more concerned with not losing the game in the first leg. So yeah, 1-1 there. But like I said, it should be a good game. I probably will be wrong, and it'll end up being like it was last season with Leverkusen Bayern and then to end match, you know. Then we've got Inter Milan against Feyenoord, I believe. So obviously Feyenoord got that result against Man City. I'm not going to spend too long on this one. I'm not going to milk it, you know. I think Inter Milan will still go there and win 2-0. I'm not going to pretend like I watch a load of Feyenoord. I've watched a few of their games in the Champions League, watched some highlights of their games in the Eredivisie. They're a decent side, but I just can't see them doing much against Inter Milan, you know. I think Inter Milan is still defensively very sound. They're still one of the top sides in Europe. Obviously they're in a race for their title this season, which they haven't been in properly for a couple seasons now. But yeah, I can't look past Inter Milan. We've gone 2-0 for this game. And then we come on to the tricky one for me, the one where I still think there could be an upset. I think a lot of the other games are quite close in terms of like Leverkusen and Bayern, PSG and Liverpool. Like how you wouldn't say, oh, it's going to be an upset there, you know. If PSG were to beat Liverpool, it would be a little bit of an upset, but it wouldn't be like a massive shock. I think Benfica Barcelona, there's something about that fixture I look at and I go, I'm not convinced by Barcelona. I know they have a lot of great players. Maybe it's a very rogue opinion from me. Obviously, I know about all their players, like how great they are. And Lamine Yamal and Rafinha's on fire, and Lewandowski's bagging in goals again. And the midfield's coming alive, and they've got Pau Kubasi. But this high line they play, I know they catch so many teams offside and they're doing it so well. But all it takes is for it to go wrong a couple of times in the game and you're giving away goals. And you saw it against Benfica last time. So I think Benfica will be coming into it and they're not going to be scared of Barcelona. You know, the 5-4 loss, it shouldn't have been a 5-4 loss. Benfica should have had a penalty in the last minute where Rafinha went up the other end and scored. The keepers were all over the place in that game. So again, I think you're going to expect more of the same in terms of just goals. It's just going to be pure goals in this game, I think. I can't see either team sitting back. Barcelona are going to go for it, you know, they're going to play that high line that they know, they're not going to change that. And Benfica aren't going to be scared of that, so they're going to go for it full throttle as well. So I said yesterday that I could see Benfica going through here as a shock result. I might be going back on that myself a little bit here. I think Benfica might win today. In my head I've gone Benfica 3-2. I think there's going to be goals. But I do think in the second leg Barcelona come out 3-4-1 winners maybe. But I don't think they'll win both legs. That's the main thing here. I don't think they'll win both legs. I think Benfica will have a bit between their teeth after what happened last game. And I can definitely see them getting a result here at home. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably be wrong with these predictions, but I'll take it a shot, you know. I got a couple yesterday, so we'll see how it goes today. Thank you guys for coming along. I know it's a bit of a short video. I am trying to get a bit more shorter content out there. I don't want to do too many hour-long videos like my first one. But if you do watch this, let me know what you think. If you like this sort of content, if it's something you could watch more of, if it's not, anything's appreciated. But yeah, thank you guys. Bye.